Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Business Spotlight. I am Scott McMeans with Action Coach, and I'm here with Nick Gallimore of Gallimore Software. We're going to get a chance to dive into the interesting world of software development. With that being said, Nick, I'd love you to take some time and introduce yourself to the audience. So please, the microphone and camera are all yours. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Nick Gallimore. I am 31 years old, and I pretty much decided to make my own company about 2 years ago, and went out and just did it, man. So I'm a software developer. I'm writing code. I got like a couple employees that work for me, and we've been, not like a super overnight success or anything like that. We've definitely been through the trenches and stuff like that, but we're here, setting goals and just trying to achieve them. So.
I love it. So when you and I were talking prior to the interview starting, you made comment that you do software development for the paintball industry, and you do software development for a number of other manufacturing businesses because of your unique skill set within manufacturing. So walk us through your success story. Like, how did you start? How did you get into this? And what was the pivotal moment, Nick, that made you say, I can do this on my own?
So, right away when I kind of, graduated from college, it's kind of like, well, if you want to go work at like Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google, one of those big companies, you got to do like all these like create like interview questions. You just got to memorize them. And I kind of, and you got to move to Silicon Valley. You got to like kind of uproot your life. Um, I like I've uprooted my life before. That's like a whole another backstory, but like I didn't want to really do it again when I had like a family, kind of like, like I don't have any kids, but I have like a wife and stuff, and like wanted to, put her through school and stuff like that. So we didn't really want to like roll the dice then. But what really was the catalyst is there's like the famous paintballer, like the most I don't know, you guys are like, oh wow, paintball, what is that? Like you just go in the woods and play with a ghillie suit. No, it's like actual jerseys, uniforms. There's professional paintball players that make, hundreds of $1,000s a year, and they're pretty big time. It's a lot more athletic than you would think if you've never seen it. There's Major League Paintballs out there, but one of the biggest like goats, I guess you could say he's like our goat of the paintball world, is Oliver Lang. And if you've ever heard of him, he's like a real kind of like odd character, whatnot. But he reached out to a friend named Marcelo Margot, who was looking for someone that new app development, stuff like that. And Marcelo was like, hey, I know this guy Nick, he can do it for you and stuff like that. And Marcelo put me and Oliver kind of in touch, and next thing I know, I'm quitting my job to work on this paintball app for like it's like 1v1 kind of US tour that he did, where he bought like a big tour bus and did like an and one style of traveling all across the country and doing all these
Yeah.
things and stuff like that. So I kind of supported him, and he pretty much set it up so that it would pretty much take over, my payments from, my work. And it lined up perfectly where my wife was graduating from college with her bachelor's degree, and she had like a 2 month kind of like uh, layover kind of break or whatnot. And she's from Brazil, and she like doesn't have any family here. All her family's in Brazil, so it was kind of cool that we could. I just pretty much just was able to quit my job, and we were able to go to Brazil, and I like built the app there, and we got to like meet my extended family and all that stuff. So just a really weird catalyst that I did get kind of lucky, but I did also put myself in that position to make sure that I did know like the best players in paintball at the time. Like I was going to like their clinics, like learning every single little thing I could to get better at the sport. And they knew that I would be like trying really hard. And I was always, I've been to like 20, 30 different clinics with these guys, like the top elite players, you know what I mean? And I just go
Yeah.
there and just talk about software the whole entire time. You know what I mean? So naturally, when an opportunity comes up, yeah, I was like a little bit lucky, but you gotta kind of like put yourself in the position to become lucky, I guess you could say. So
Well, fortune favors the prepared, right?
yes, for sure.
And it sounds like over a period of time getting to know Oliver and being a part of that tour, you laid an amazing amount of groundwork into letting people know, one, you're speaking their language, you understand what they do, and you're also talented in software development. It makes it easy to bring you in and say, this is the guy that can do what we want him to do. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a pretty good thing. What was the name of the tour again?
Hormesis Elite. So
Hormesis.
Hormesis. And I mean, there was some really good video footage that he got, like had a really good video crew. And it was pretty much 1 versus 1 paintball, but on the field was the size of a tennis court, and it was just
Wow.
straight like kind of like gun battling skills, like real close range, and like the winner of the tournament, like so we went to like like 8 different corners across the U.S. and everywhere, and then it like culminated in like the winner getting like I think like $10,000 for first place. So it was kind of a cool little, and
Absolutely.
it was like a 17 or 16-year-old kid from New Jersey who won, like beating some like older people and stuff like that. So it's like
Wow.
it's kind of cool to help do that, but
I,
it,
I would
it's cool.
I would suggest of all the people we've had on this podcast interview series, this is the most unique pathway to CEO status that I've been a part of. And I couldn't thank you enough for telling me this story.
For
This
sure.
is this is really unique and cool. And I guarantee there's plenty of people out there, Nick, that love their job. There's a lot of people out there that really are passionate about what they do. And it shows in the way they do their work. But I think what you have discovered and what you've just explained to us is a rarity in that you get a chance to be a software developer in a space that you know and are passionate about. And it clearly shows in the way you articulate your story. So I appreciate what you're telling me because this is amazing. This is a great story.
Hmm. Yeah. And like there's millions of paintball players every year that like, play them in like birthday parties and stuff like that. But when you get to like the national circuit where it's like, more major league paintball, there's maybe like 20,000 tournament players every year. So it's like kind of like it's the size of the community isn't too big, but it's
Yeah.
the right size to be able to position yourself. Like there's maybe like 5 software developers in the community that are like kind of like trying to do something, you know what I mean? So it's not super competitive, but it's a market that's like the right size. It's not too small, but not too big. And
Well, it's
it's
an
like
interesting niche. There's no doubt about
exactly.
it.
So if you can, I was watching some other business series, and the guy was saying like, oh, most people think that the business it should start from an idea. Well, I don't. Most people have all these ideas, and yes, you can have that, but if you can, start the business from like, what are your hobbies? Okay, so if
Mhm.
you find your hobbies, and if you figure out a way to monetize your hobbies, like it's just you're gonna be more passionate about it. You're gonna have better results. Like I care about making the paintball app cool because it's like I want it to be awesome. You know what I mean? Like it's like, hey, it's like I have this like crazy cool tool belt, and I've been really good at like software development for like since like 2013. I've been writing code, and it's like, but it's like for like private companies. You know what I mean? And like none of my friends get to see it. You know what I mean? So the
Yeah.
minute you get to like show the badge of honor and be like, hey, guys, I'm actually really good at this, and this is what I can do, and like you're building a tool that like makes your friends go, wow, you know what I mean? It's like it makes you feel good, you know what I mean? So and it's cool
Uh,
to be able to use those tool belts to really like improve the thing you care about, whether it's paintball or say like the other thing I do is like Soapbox Derby or like any of the organizations that you are part of, you know what I mean? If you can figure out a way um to help them by making your own business, if you have some kind of hobby, figure out a way to monetize it, figure out a way to do something cool, you know?
it's an exact point that most businesses try to do every time they start. The challenge that most businesses have is they run up against deciding their passion versus their payments, their excitement versus their expenses, right? That always seems to come into play. So you don't, I want to make sure you make comment that you do paintball as one and then manufacturing as well. So is there a different niche industry that you're in outside of paintball?
Um, So I have had a lot of experience in the glass industry. Um, I, I don't know how much I'm at liberty to actually say about like different companies and stuff like that, but we've built some pretty cool like AI models for different like glass bottling companies or like float glass. So like anything like that. But I mean, I've probably done maybe about like between like 40 and 50 different kind of like big like projects for like the manufacturing,
Okay.
industries. So whether
Well,
it's
the reason I was asking the question, I don't want to give the impression that all you do in order to make Gilmore software work
no,
is
yeah,
paintball, right? So there's more to your business than just that.
right.
So if somebody was looking for your services, what target markets outside of paintball and glass bottling, what would you say is like your target area?
I think I really like being in Ohio, and I like how this like we're a very big like manufacturing kind of space where, if you have some kind of thing that just needs to be like automated faster, or if there's any kind of like optimization problem, or it's like, yeah, we're a software development company. We build websites and mobile apps and other desktop apps and stuff like that. But it's kind of like it is really like we have a very big tool belt, and if there's something that you can kind of like dream up, and it's pretty obvious when there's like a Excel sheet every single day, or we don't like
Yeah.
have to walk over and fix this. This could be automated. And if there's a monetary value assigned to it where you could actually, save money or make money more, then it makes sense to bring like a company like me in to like build like custom
Okay.
software for you.
So that's really good explanation. So it's more than, as you said, it's more than app development. It's more than online presence with your website. It's process manufacturing efficiency through either the application of or development of AI to cover that what the process is doing. Is that a
Mhm.
good assessment of what you do?
Yeah, so like
That's awesome.
even it doesn't have to be with AI, but there's a lot of problems that we can solve with AI. But like even something as simple as like like putting like RFID tags on like different little pallets that are going around on forklifts around your warehouse, and like then
Hmm.
building like a web app on top of that to like monitor it all. And then like, oh crap, well now we want to track the shipping of it, or like now we want to do this or that. So it's kind of like um anything with um electronics in a way. So anything with like Bluetooth sensors, um, that we integrate with a lot of like PLCs and different hardware like that. So and that is where the money is. And it's like kind of like I take the stuff from there, and then I want to be a service in order to build the products that I want, right? So like I would, oh crap, now I can build like make it like the paintball social media or whatnot, or like this little
Hmm.
other app for like solving what to eat in my fridge, you know what I mean? Or just like this other little project ideas that I have, you know what I mean? So that we can, have like a half service, half product based company that we own the percent
I
of.
honestly, Nick, I think it's wonderful. And one of the most compelling things you said, which is something I think most people need to pay attention to, is you were taking the education you get from developing these manufacturing process systems, and then you find a way to apply it to other applications for other clients. And I'm sure vice versa. That is a true innovative way of doing business, because something that we like to talk about a lot in the business coaching world, leverage, meaning you create something once and you use it multiple times to the benefit of yourself or your clientele. It's an amazing way to do business. And what we see is people always pigeonhole customers and applications, and they don't cross over to say, well, what I did over here, I can actually do on this one. It would make things easier, right? So that's a really good, rather profound way to do business. So I appreciate you saying that. There's so much of a rabbit hole I could follow. And I want to make sure that we stay on track, because I want
Sure.
to learn about you and your rise to CEO, and how you went from being a code writer for one company and starting your own. We've gone through the paintball thing. So now that we're in this, you got your business up and running, right? What are some of the biggest learnings or experiences that you've gone through that have taught you the most about being the head of
So
a
I
business?
think it actually starts from like way back before all this kind of happened. Like say like even back in like middle school, you could say. So back in like middle school, we would have and I was actually just explaining this to one of my developers today. He's in Nepal, but they didn't have MySpace or anything like that. I'm like, dude, we've been doing this stuff since like eighth grade. It's like how cool your MySpace layout looked was pretty much like tied to how popular you were in middle school. You know what I mean? So, and I was really good at making them, and I would like, I think I sold like one or two of them for like $20 to like some of my friends and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to be a graphic designer, but then I found out that I didn't really get paid that much. And I raced Soapbox Derby all over the country with my dad, and we'd go on these like very, very long drives all over the country. Like I think we did like 20,000 miles just traveling one year, and I was like
Wow.
the national point champ of Soapbox Derby and stuff like that. And just he would always ask me, well, what do you want to do? You know what I mean? And it's like, well, I want to, you know, I was like, I want to be a graphic designer. And like that kind of just formulated into, I went to the Porter's Lakes Career Center for like computer networking technology in high school. And, I learned how to build computers. Then I got a job when I was in high school, still like assembling servers for like a one of those robo dialing companies that would like do the political calls, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I would like build the servers with my hand, and I'd have to manage them all, and I'd get yelled at by like some small town mayor or something on the phone. I remember one time I got it, and it's crazy how society is. It's like I remember like I would have to pull over on the side of the road. And I remember this cop, like he like came up to me, to the side of my window and was like, he's like, "What are you doing? Like, stop playing video games." And I'm like on the phone with some like mayor, and I'm like, I'm deciding whether to hang up on the mayor or talk to the cop. And it's like, and then I just got in trouble. Like, oh, it was horrible. But I pretty much would. I saw all the when I was working there. I saw the software developers that would come in to work on the application that like the call center campaign manager would use to like manage like the volunteers and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And they were like big shots, you know what I mean? They came from like England, and like they had a cool fancy accent, and like I just like wanted to like learn everything about them, you know what I mean? I just wanted to learn how to be a
Yeah.
software too. So I went on, and there was an app called iTunes U, and that had all these different like courses. So one of the courses was Harvard's Introduction to Computer Science. So I, you know, I thought that I was pretty smart and stuff like that. So I tried doing it, and it was very hard. Like I couldn't do it. And so what I did is I reached out to one of my friends that was in my class that was studying computer science, and he helped me with like the first problem assignment. And once I got that one done, it kind of just like kind of or it was just a snowball. And
Yeah.
I just absorbed all of it. Like I typed the whole entire textbook out. I wanted to make sure like my finger muscles were right for the code and everything, because I can type really fast, like from playing like video games, stuff like that. So I would just, you know, learn the muscle memory of everything like that. And then I found out that like, hey, there's this thing called the Harvard Extension School that's in Cambridge, and all you have to do is just sign up, and then you get to go there to Harvard, basically in person on campus, next to the Harvard College students, with the real Harvard College professors, for $1,500 for 4 credit class, when the Harvard College students were paying 4,500. And it's like a
Right.
back doorway into Harvard, and you don't have to apply or anything. You just sign up basically, and you get to go, and you get credit. And I'm like, okay, cool. But it's like a non-degree program, so you can't graduate. But it's like a merit. It was like a merit-based program where if you did 3 classes and you had like a 3.5 GPA or higher or something like that, then they let you into the pearly gates of Harvard. And you just had to do this one expository writing class, and it was insanely hard. But so I took it the first time. It was like environmental writing, and I got like a C minus or something like that. But like I
Oh,
was like a freshman. It was like my first class ever. And what other people were like tricking the system, and they were like seniors, like 4 classes away from graduating, that would like transfer there, and it'd be their last class. So it's like competing against like people are way out of my league. And like I was supposed to do like two prerequisite classes before that one even, but I didn't want to take writing classes. I wanted to take computer science classes, so I didn't do those. Just went straight for the hard one and got like a C minus in it. So you're allowed to retake it once or whatnot. So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna like study a little bit before I go and take that class again. I'm gonna learn some more. So I pretty much got to like lounge around Harvard for like a year and a half or 2 years, just like learning all the classes, signing up for whatever class I wanted. Um, was able to like meet with all the professors, go to their office hours. Like even the classes that I didn't sign up for, like some of like I took a cryptography class with this guy, Sulil, and he won like the Godel Prize, which is like the Nobel Prize of computer science. And like
wow.
he let me just take the exams, and I wasn't even in the class. You know what I mean? Like the first day, everyone's like, "Hey, yeah, I'm a postdoc, I'm a PhD, master's." I'm like, "I'm a freshman. I'm just here." You know, like it's like it was like
So
computation
what
complexity
was that
number.
experience like? Did you perform well in those classes?
Hell no, not that one.
Okay.
But I, and the reason I didn't perform well is because I put myself in places where I knew I wouldn't perform well. Does it make sense? Like I was always like a person who wanted to learn like, you know, multivariable calculus before I learned like pre-calc. You know what I mean? Like I have like a
Okay. So you're
fascination
putting
with
yourself, you're the kind of
exactly,
guy that puts himself in situations that you want to fight your way out of it without knowing anything, but you'll figure it out as you go.
exactly. And that's one of
Okay.
the key motivate, like that's one of the best qualities of, you know, there's different kinds of motivations for different people. But if you can figure out how to crack the code to make yourself be like addicted to hard stuff, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you're just
Yeah.
addicted to challenge, you know what I mean? Then like that's what really like kind of, you know, makes it fun. Like the harder a task is, the more I enjoy it. You know what I mean?
Okay. So that's a different beat that most people have. And I'm not saying it's wrong. I think it's a commendable way of throwing yourself into the deep end without any skill set on how to swim, but you
Mhm.
figure it out, and that's impressive. I'm looking at your company, and I'm looking at what you've been through. I'm interested to learn, what do you see as the future of what you've got going on at the organization? So
So
where's Gallimore Software going to go in the next 5 years?
So I think we're gonna have some really big growth pretty soon. Like some of the different projects that I've been getting in lately, it's kind of like they're all coming in at once. So I'm gonna have to like hire another software developer. I do have a team of um, like I wouldn't even call them like foreign software developers. Like I met one of my friends from Ghana, and he's kind of been like my pen pal for like 6, 7, 8, like probably like 6 years now. And I found him on that in a Facebook group, like helping people for like the Harvard class.
Yeah,
He completed the class too and had the certificate and everything. And he was just helping people, but like on a very cracked like Android tablet and stuff. So like I always like sent him like computers and stuff like that throughout the years and stuff like that. So when I opened my own company, it was a very natural thing to want to hire him.
absolutely.
And I've been helping him for a very long time. He's got Starlink now on his roof, and he bought a plot of land. Like he's like the community is like I don't know. He's got it now, and like everyone comes to his house and everything now. You know what I mean? But and
Nothing wrong
it's
with
funny. His
that.
mom made him become a nurse before he was allowed to study computer science, so it was barred from him. Like he had to take care of his community because he was smart. His nickname's Newton. Like, you
Yeah,
know what I mean? So like he had to become a nurse to take care of his like village, and then he got to study computer science, and then he did the whole Harvard class on a phone. He didn't even have a computer, and it was like a crack phone. I'm like, how do you compile a C code on an Android device? It just didn't make sense to me. I'm like, dude, I got to give you a computer. So then like 3, 4 years even after that is like I was like, okay, I'm on my own now. Like, let's do it. And then I found another person that was like kind of like him from Nepal, and he was actually, it was when I was like trying to get more sales and leads, and he was actually trying to hire me. and then
oh
he like,
wow.
and I'm like, okay, well then like he told me some of his race. I'm like, dude, I think it makes more sense that you work for me, dude. Like, we can make something really big here, like come on. And so he was working his job and working for me, and then he like maybe 4 months ago he left his actual full-time job to come work with us full-time too. So he just committed to me too. So I'm definitely indebted to my other partner, Ahim. So
100%. So, Nick, where do you see the growth coming from? Is it
yeah.
expansion into different areas, further penetration into the different markets you're working at? Where do you see your growth
So
coming from?
I think one of the mottos I have is on my one of my business cards. I don't even know if I'm saying it right. It's like um unleashing innovation, empowering success. And it's basically just like I want to take people's dreams and just kind of like a lot of people have an idea and they don't really know the path to go forward with it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And and I have a lot of those ideas myself, and we come up with ideas maybe, you know, way faster than we're able to implement them or execute them. And it like I think it's like one of my goals to be able to make it so that we can execute like our ideas a lot faster. You know what I mean? Um, and I think that in the future, like, I don't want to just be another like software development company that just has like an office in, Canton or North Canton or Cleveland or Independence or whatnot that just, has like, 10 coders working for them and stuff like that. Like I really actually want to do something a little bit different. Um, and I see like a lot of these people, there's the whole stigma of like having like foreign software developers is bad and stuff like that. Um, it like some of it is true, you know what I mean? But it's mostly due to a lack of training and experience and kind of just belief in them. You know what I mean? But if you can find the right people that are actually very special and you can have the patience to really figure out how to work remotely, to really iron out all the like how many, I don't know any software developers that are in Ghana, right? And it's like, okay, if I have a morning meeting with Newton and a stand up and like he can't come, he doesn't show up to the meeting, it's like, we've had our like rough patches where it's like I get mad or something. It's like, but like it's like he's just trying to like his phone's dead, his internet's out. They shut the whole power down at night. What do you want him to do? Plug his phone into the dirt? It just doesn't exist. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's like being able take humanity almost like I don't know. I tend to think of like very, very big, right? It's like I kind of
Mhm.
want to do something that's like cool for humanity. I want to leave a good lasting impression, build like a really good system where it actually does bring quality work, where we have, these software developers, and they're not just like for my own, like greed. Like I don't even really care that much about money as much as I do care about is helping people. So if I can figure out a way to make it so that all these Newton in Ghana, and like he has all these other people and they're studying computer science, but they're so far behind, you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
like we need to give Bill Gates like gave them like computers a long time ago, like just like stuff like that. Like that's kind of where
sure.
I want to be, you know what I mean?
Honestly, Nick, I think one of the coolest things you said is I just want to do things that are cool for humanity, and that's a good testimony to not only your heart and soul into the passion that you have, but it's a good window into how you apply your interest in paintball to the business that you drive. And the business that you drive has all these other elements to it. So it allows you to have not only a creative expression outwardly because you have this creative mind to build code, but you also have this humanitarian element to your brain that says, let's just do this the right way by helping others so they can help themselves help others. I think it's a powerful message. It's something that
And money's a
is
tool to
rare.
help do that, basically,
Say that again.
money's a tool to help do that, basically, so.
Well, that definitely is. And one of the things that comes through is, and I kind of wrote this down with the concept that you had before about find a hobby and how you can monetize it, be passionate about it. And I actually wrote down, show off your skills so the community that you hang out with is impressed and eventually money will come back to you. And
Yep.
that's a really cool, very powerful message for any entrepreneur trying to get out there and take what they believe, what they are passionate about, and something they're good at, and turning it into a very viable business. So I give you credit for telling that message.
I mean, what you talk about, really does influence people. It's hard to gauge the metrics on that and stuff like that. But the last company that I worked at was called Robusys before I left, and all the credit to them. They're an amazing company in Aurora, and they do like PLC integrations and stuff like that. And they gave me a lot of the manufacturing experience that is really going to be really helpful for me. But like when we would ever have like the happy hours with the parties and stuff like that, like I like 4 or 5 years ago, I was the guy that was like machine learning, guys, we need to do AI machine learning. You know what I mean? Like this is so cool, and like let's do it. Like I don't know how it works, but I remember back at like Harvard on the boards, like in CS 281, there was some really crazy equations on there, and it was really awesome. Like computer vision, you know what I mean? And it's like all
Yeah.
these different things, and just like after enough of like me just like kind of maybe even like annoying people about it so much that I talk about it so much that like they turned the whole entire division I was in into industrial AI. And like there's like, hey, you know what? You guys are you're just all gonna be like applied AI engineers now. We know you don't know anything about it, but just fake it till you make it. And I'm like, yes, this is what I wanted.
Well, I was gonna say, it's exactly what you love to do. Throw me into the deep end. I don't have any flippers. I don't have any uh, elbow pads or whatever they call those. I'm just going to figure it out, and that's a huge testament to
Right.
you and your creativity and your willingness to put yourself at risk to make something happen out of it. Now, listen, we have gotten ourselves into the end of the session. We've got about a minute left. Is there any last words that you can say in the next 20 seconds that you think the audience would love to hear about you and anything you guys are doing over at Gallimore?
Yeah, just bet on me.
Say it again.
Bet on me.
I love it. Well, now I got a headline for you. All right. Nick, I appreciate it. This has been great. I'm sure the audience is going to be inspired, maybe confused about all the things that you were talking about, but at the end of the day, they're going to learn something very special, and I think that was valid. So thank you for being a part of the show.
One last thing is so there's a technology divide between older and younger generations. That's one of the other things that I'm trying to help fix. So if you have any like questions about technology or anything about like that, like I very much like helping people out and just like
Yeah, I will make sure that everyone gets a
stuff.
chance to be connected to you on LinkedIn and everything else on the description below. So we're good to go. Awesome.
Cool.
Thank you, man.
All right, see you.
Bye.